So hi and welcome to today's class. So in today's class we will be learning about how to calculate the planetary positions and the planetary longitudes but using the logarithm method. So last class we had seen or we have learned that how we can use the ratio method in order to successfully, correctly, accurately calculate the planetary position and the planetary longitudes. In this class, we will be able to do the same thing, calculating successfully, correctly, accurately the planetary positions and the planetary longitudes, but we are going to use a different method, a different approach, and it is a logarithm method. So, let's proceed with today's class. Now, we have to understand there are few things that will remain, or there are, at least in the beginning, there are few things that remains the same. We will be using and referring the same book. One is ephemeris book. Okay, and also we are doing this. We are again, solving the same birth detail, right? 31st of August 2024, 11:25 a.m. IST time of birth, and the place of birth is Delhi. Just that we are using a different method. So the values, the birth details remains the same. So please be mindful about that. So again, I'm referring my notes over here, my personal notes, so that I'm showing it to you all alongside me discussing and explaining the steps so that all the learnings become very concrete and you are able to understand it very, very easily. So the first step remains the same. The second step also remains the same. I've already discussed it, explained it very, very clearly. What was the first step? What was the second step? In the first step, why we had written 1st September 2024. In the second step, why we are writing 31st of August 2024. So, I'm sure if you have gone through class 70, you will be very much clear with this concept and with this understanding. The sequence again remains the same because anyways from the step 1 step 2 values we are noting it down from the ephemeris. How we were noting these values from this particular book, again I have discussed all of these things in detail in the last class. Okay, so I'm not repeating whatever I have already discussed. So I am progressing and I'm moving forward. Now here what we need to just do certain changes is whatever value we have written, we are bringing it 2 minutes. We are approximating it 2 minutes, or we are converting that into minutes. And there is a simple mathematical concept for it. If your second value, suppose here, let's take this as an example, sun's longitude on 1st September 2024 is 4 sine past, 14 degree, 51 minutes, 15 seconds. Now here the second value is less than 30. So this particular value, that is 4 sine past, 14 degree, 51 minutes, 15 seconds, we can write it or we can approximate it as 4 sine past, 14 degree, 51 minutes. Suppose if here the second value was 30 or greater than equal to 30, then we would have been adding the minutes value by 1. So it would have become 52 minutes. But as it is less than 30, the minutes value remain the same. So now I'm sure you're clear with the concept. Let's take this value, moon also. So the value of moon on 1st September 2024, the longitude of moon, the planetary position of moon, that is at 5:30 a.m. IST is 3 sine past, 21 degree, 42 minutes and 24 seconds. Okay. Now the second value is less than 30. Okay. As the second value is less than 30, we are writing it as 3 sine past, 21 degree, 42 minutes, because as the second value is less than 30, there is no changes in the minute. The minutes value remains the same. Now let's come to the value of Mercury. Mars also the same concept is applying. Mercury, let's see. The planetary position and the longitude of Mercury on 1st September at 2024 at 5:30 a.m. IST is 3 sine pass, 27 degree, 53 minutes and 36 seconds. Now here the second value is greater than equal to 30. So I can write this value as 3 sine pass, 27 degree and 54 minute. Okay, this is the only thing what I have done in this particular step when I'm using the logarithm method. All right, so all the degree, minute and seconds I've converted it into degree and minute only, sine past, degree and minute. So I have done for all the planets for 1st September 2024 using the same concept whatever I have discussed and explained right now. Similarly, for 31st August 2024, I have done the same thing, applied the same concept. Okay. Now, our step 3 also remains exactly the same what we have done in our previous class when we were solving this using the ratio method, that is step 1 minus step 2. So if we are subtracted, that means it is 4 sine pass, 14 degree, 51 minutes minus 4 sine pass, 13 degree, 53 minutes. Simple subtraction, we are getting it as 58 minutes. Okay, I will not explain you the subtraction again. I have explained all of these things again very clearly in the last class, and now you should be able to subtract, do this simple subtraction and addition very smoothly. It should be a cakewalk for all of you at this point of time if you are practicing it. That is, if you are watching my classes and if you are practicing it along with while watching it, you are practicing it, and even then you are also practicing it on your own, then all of these things will be very easy for you at this point of time. You should be able to do it very easily and correctly, because if the addition subtraction is there is a mistake, all the subsequent calculations will be problem and it will be inaccurate. So the results you will not be getting inaccurately. So there should not be any mathematical errors at your end. Okay, that's what I'm trying to mean. So step 3, it means the same thing whatever we have done for in class 70, the same thing applies over here also in class 71, even for logarithm method. Step 1 minus step 2. Okay, let's come to Saturn. Saturn, again I had discussed this particular concept as Saturn and Rahu is retrograde, so that's why we are subtracting this value from this value. It means 10 sine pass, 22 degree, 27 minutes minus 10 sine pass, 22 degree, 24 minute. A very simple subtraction and you are getting 3 minutes. As it is retrograde, I am writing minus over here. The same concept applies for Rahu also. Remaining all other planets are direct planets. Okay. Step 3 is also clear. Now our main logarithm approach will come, and here we again need to use this particular book, that is the Vanis Ephemeris 2024. Okay, so how we are now solving this? Now we are using the logarithm method to find the value or the log of this particular value we need to find. So step 4 is all about finding the log value of the step 3 values. Log of 58 minutes, log of 12 degree 21 minutes, log of 37 minutes. And all you need to do with so much ease and with so much relaxation, you have to just see the values from this table, from these tables which you are seeing right now. So our logarithm, proportional logarithms for planetary, for finding planet's position starts from page 42 of the Vanis Ephemeris book, and it goes till page 49. Okay, so this is from all of these pages you will be able to successfully note down the values, and how you will be able to note down that I will teach you right away. So 58 minutes I've written, just now don't look at this value. Okay, just focus on this value. we need to find the logarithm value or the log value of 58 minutes. How we are able to do that? So 58 minutes means there is no degrees over here. 13 degree minus 13 degree, it becomes 0. So it means it is 0 degree 58 minutes. This particular book and in these pages, here you find, here you need to understand these things. One second. Huh? This particular row that you can see in bold, capital bold, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So these values are basically degrees. Focus on the degrees, because even it's the degrees or hours, but here we have to just understand with the, like, look at from the degrees concept, but it means degrees and hours only. So as it is 58 minute, it means it comes in 0 degrees. So we have to now look at 0 degrees, and this first column is all about the minutes. So now we have to look at 58 minutes under 0 degrees. So here in page number 44, we are having minutes till 59, and the degrees values are from 0 to 6. Then page 45, it's from 7 to 12. Minutes again will remain the 59, right? So this is how a simple understanding of the page is. Very, very simple in nature. No complications at all. So under 0 degrees, come to 58 minutes. What is the value? 1.3949. This is exactly what I have written. 1.3949. So the log of 58 minutes is 1.3949. Similarly, what is the log? This is step 4, all right? So what is the log of 12 degree 21 minutes? Just again, we have to note down the values from here. 12 degrees. So where is 12 degrees? 12 degrees is again here and also over here. But now it is 12 degree and 21 minutes. So 21 minutes is in which particular page? In this particular page, you will find 12 degrees is also here, and in minutes also you will find minutes till 30. So 21 is here. So let's simply jot down the values, simple noting the values from here in this table. In the 12 degrees column, row will be of 21 minutes. 21 minutes is the row. It is, the value is 0.2885. It's 0.2885. One more let's do, so that your concept is clear. 37 minutes, it means 0 degree 37 minutes. 0 degree 37 minutes is in page number 44. 0 degree and 37 minutes. Here it is 1.5902. Here it is 1.5902, log of 37 minutes. Okay. So similarly, we have found out the log values for all of these. Step 3. Here again, it's a log value of 3 minutes. Okay, let me show it to you so that you don't get confused how we are getting minus this time 2.6812. Minus is just, you have to carry forward the signs minus as it is retrograde, right? But the numerical calculations, it remains the same. So just a log value of 3 minutes you have to note down. So here log of 3 minutes. So it is basically 0 degree and 3 minute. So 0 degree and 3 minute, it means 2.6812. This is 2.6812, and it's minus because it's retrograde. Similarly, same thing is for Rahu also, right? So this is how we are calculating step 4. So step 4 was finding the log value of our step 3 values, and we are using the Vani's ephemeris book. The year will depend on the year of birth, and we are using this values. Okay. So our step 4 is also now complete. Let's come to step 5. In step 5, the daily motion, that was our numerator value in the last class 70, when we were calculating the ratio. Let's go to that particular page so that you don't have a confusion, so that you are absolutely aligned to whatever I'm talking. In step 4, what we were doing, the first step of calculating the ratio, that was our numerator value. We were subtracting 5 hours 30 minutes from 11 hours 25 minutes, because all the planets has traversed from 5:30 to 11:25. I have given you the explanation very, very clearly and in detail in the last class. All right, so I'm not repeating the explanation again. So simply the numerator value that we were finding for the ratio 5 hour 55 minute, that is our time of birth minus the ephemeris time of 5:30, that value only we are considering over here in our step 5, that is 5 hour 55 minutes. This is the value which we have taken. Now our duty is for the step 5 is we need to find the logarithm value, the log value of 5 hour 55 minutes. Here we need to see the word hour instead of degrees. So it's basically 5 degree 55 minutes or 5 hour 55 minutes, but as per this concept it is 5 hour 55 minute. That is the numerator value, the log of the numerator value we are seeing. What is the, how we are doing it? Again, simply the same process, how in the way we have seen the values in step 4, the same process we are applying in step 5, and we will be seeing the value, what will be the logarithm value for 5 hour 55 minutes. Let's do it all together. Let's go to one is ephemeris, 5 hour 55 minutes. So I'm here in at 5. Okay, let's go to the next page. We are here, I can see 5 and I can see 55 also. So I have seen, so in page number 44 I have 55 minutes and I have 5 hours. So here I'm using the word hours instead of degrees. So 5 hour 55 minute, it is this, right? 5 hour 55 minutes, it is this value, 0.6081. So this is what I have written, 0.6081, and it's the same like this. So each, for every planet, for all the 8 planets, the value will be the same. In the last class, when we were doing the ratio, the first step, what we have found, the ratio value, 5 hour 55 minutes divided by 24 hours, the value that we were getting, that ratio decimal value was same. We were using it, or we had that the value which I had labeled as A, I was using it for all the 8 planets. Similarly here, the log value of 5 hour 55 minutes, that value will be same for all the 8 planets. Just for the retrograde, I am mentioning it as minus for my own understanding and for my own mathematical calculation easiness. So your step 5 is complete. Now comes to step 6. Step 6 is a simple mathematical addition of this plus this. Simple addition. Add these 2 decimal values using a calculator. So step 6 is step 4 value plus step 5 value. This plus this, this plus this, this plus this, this plus this, and accordingly you are writing the values underneath the respective planet. So for Sun, your step 6 value will be 1.3949 plus 0.6081, that is 2.003. For Moon, it is 0.2885 plus 0.6081, which is giving you a value of 0.8966. For Mars, the value is 1.5902 plus 0.6081. The value that you are getting is 2.1983. Simple addition. Now, one thing you need to be, this value that you are getting in the step 4 value for Saturn and the step 5 value for Saturn, these two again you are adding only here. Okay, so it is 2.6812 plus 0.6081, but just you are putting minus, because it is like, what is like minus 1 minus 2 is minus 3. Simple mathematical concept. Okay, minus 3 minus 4 is minus 7. So that's the thing. So either you add these two values using the calculator and put the minus sign before the value. So you are mathematically accurate and you are going in the correct way. So your step 6 values are also now complete and perfectly accurately calculated. Now let's come to step 7. Now step 7, here we need to find the anti-log value of the values of step 6. In step 4, what we were doing in step 4 and step 5, we were finding out the logarithm values of either step 3 value or the 5 hour 55 minute value. In step 7, we are calculating the anti-log values of the step 6. It means anti-log of 2.003, anti-log of 0.8966, anti-log of 2.1983. How you will be able to do this? How you will be able to find out the anti-log values of all of these step 6 values? I will teach you. So we need to use this Vani's ephemeris book. So the anti-log value of 2.003, we have to go to the same pages. If you see here, you might not get the accurate value. Let me see. I'll show it to you. I'll tell it to you so that it's easy for you to understand. The value is, we need to find the antilog of 2.003. Means which particular value, that is in degrees and minutes, is corresponding very accurately or very nearly. I'll use the word nearly, approximately nearly to 2.003, that we are finding it out from this particular book. So for 2.003, see, in 0 degrees and 14 minutes, we are having the value of 2.0122. This particular value is the nearest value to 2.003. Again, I am repeating, in under 0 degrees and 14 minutes, the value which is there in our book, that is 2.0122, is the nearest value to 2.003. So the antilog value of 2.003 more correct, like very much near, or the values that we will take is 0 degree 14 minutes, or just I am writing it as 14 minutes. Same concept goes for all the other planets too. The antilog value of 0.8966. Now if I go to 3 degrees and 3 minutes, see, 3 degrees and 3 minutes, this finger and this finger, 3 degrees and 3 minutes, we are having the value of 0.8959. Now 0.8959, this value is most near to the value of 0.8966. So my antilog value of 0.8966, it becomes 3 degrees and 3 minutes. Okay, let's do one more. Let's do it for a different, let's do it for the same, let's do it for Mars only. What is the antilog value of 2.1983? If I go under 0 degrees and 9 minutes, the value that I'm getting is here, that value that I'm seeing over here is 2.2041. Now 2.2041, this particular value is closest to my value of 2.1983. So the antilog value of 2.1983, it becomes 0 degrees 9 minutes. So this is the concept which I am using for all the 8 planets over here in order to find out our antilog values. So something now you need to understand here is, the values that you see over here, not necessarily the exact value you will find in the book. You have to go to that particular value, that is that degree and minute value, whose value is the most closest to these values. That is what which particular log value, if I want to tell it to you in that particular way, which particular log value of a particular degree and a minute is closest to these values. Sometimes it will be exactly the same, sometimes it will be very accurate. So here you have to do that mental calculation, and you have to see one value after, one value before, and you have to now be a bit mindful, because here nobody will, now it's easy for you to understand because I have shown you. But suppose if I just tell you randomly now, find the antilog values of 1.9091. So you have to see from the book 1.9091 where it is, from here, from the tables you have to, but the more you do it, the more you will be able to understand that 1.9091 in which particular page, in which particular column that value will be residing. Not exactly that, but the closest to that. And you see the degree value and you see the minute value. which that particular closest value is corresponding to, and that will be your anti-log value. So the more you practice, the more better you will get at finding out the anti-log values, because finding out the logarithm values is very easy, because you are just going to the degree and the minute and you are seeing the value and you are writing it over here. Similarly, for the hours and the minutes, you are just seeing the value and you are writing it over here. But for the anti-log value, you have to initially like scan through the pages and you have to use your eyes, you have to use your mental calculation in order to find out that particular value, that log value, which is corresponding to the nearest value of the values which you have calculated in step 6. And the corresponding degree and the minute, it becomes your anti-log value. So this is how you are calculating the anti-log values, and you have, I'm sure you have understood the concept. Now you need to practice it at your end, so you get better at it. And once again, I'm repeating the same thing. Once you practice it so much, like every day you practice it, after a point of time you will get all of these things very, very easily. You will not take much time to complete this entire calculation. Whether it's a ratio method, whether it is a logarithm method, you will be doing it very, very easily. And the most important thing is you will be doing it accurately. You will not commit any mathematical errors, right? Initially there might be errors. You will find that why the values is not matching, or why I'm finding it hard to do the correct analysis. Then you will go back to your calculations and you will find, oh, here I did an addition error, or here I did a subtraction error, or here I had done a multiplication error, or here I have noted down the values mistakenly, like in a mistake way. There is an error noting down the values. So all of these mistakes will be there, and it is fine. But the more you will practice, all of these mistakes, all of these small minute errors will be slowly it will be fading away. Initially, the most important thing is your concept needs to be clear, and you need to be familiar with the steps. After step 1, what is the next step? After step 2, what is the next step? The more you will practice it, all of these steps, it will be going in your memory, and you will be able to do it without using any reference, without using any notes. You will be able to do it on your own, but that will require practice. Okay, understanding of all of these classes, all of these videos, whatever you are seeing in my YouTube channel, rewatching these videos again and again till your concept becomes very, very clear, till you are able to figure out the steps properly. Then you take your own examples, hypothetical examples you can take, and then you start to practice it on your own, and you solve more birth details, more calculations at your own end. Then only you will be more proficient and adept at this Ganit mathematical part. Okay, now let's come back to our class in our calculations. So our step 7 values are all calculated, right? Here again, the anti-log value of these two retrograde planets is 0, 1 minute, 0, 1 minute, where it is minus. So minus sign is always getting carried forward, okay, whenever it is a retrograde planet. So all of these things you have to keep in your mind. Now our final step is you have to add this value to this value. It means step 2 values plus step 7 values. It means for sun, what we are doing is we are adding 4 sine pass 13 degree 53 minutes plus 14 minutes. So 13 degree 53 minutes plus 14 minutes is it is accurately 14 degrees and 07 minutes, because 53 plus 14 is 67. 67 minutes is 07 minutes and 1 degree. 1 degree is getting carried forward, and 13 degrees it becomes 14 degrees. So 4 sine pass 14 degrees 07 minutes. So I do not have to explain now the mathematical additions and the subtractions to you. It's just that I'm just explaining you the steps. So your step 8, your final step is when you are adding these values to your step 2 values. Step 2 value plus your step 7 value. Again, when it comes to the retrograde planets, what we are doing is this value minus this value. So it is 10 sine pass 22 degree 27 minutes minus 01 minute. Similarly for Rahu, for all the others, it was simple addition, but for the retrograde planets, we are just subtracting the step 7 values from the step 2 values. Okay, and now we are arriving at our planetary longitudes as well as in which sign the planets are positioned in the D1 chart. Now, all of these values will be very much the same, will be very much the exact values that you will be calculating using the ratio method. You find it from your own end. The ratio method values, whatever you have calculated for all the 8 or the 9 planets, if you take Ketu also into consideration, will be exactly the same what you have calculated now using the logarithm method. Same thing, just a different method now you have learned. Okay, so I did the same thing over here again. Whatever I have done in the last class, I have done the same thing in this class too. That I'm telling you the same thing in this class too is this, that I have drawn the horoscope, the D1 chart, and I have positioned the planets based on whatever I have calculated over here. And it is the same thing, see. Just for your clarity, this was our chart that we have calculated using our ratio method, and this is the chart which we have got using the logarithm method. Is exactly the same. The ascendant rising is from our first class, class 68. Okay, the longitude of the planets, the longitude of the ascendants is exactly what we have calculated over here. It will be the same as what we have calculated using the ratio method. It's just that in the ratio method we have the values till seconds, and in the logarithm method we have the values till minutes. Okay, so don't get confused in that. If you just convert these things, like I have told you already in the beginning of today's class, if the second value is less than 30, the minutes value will remain the same, and the second you can just wave it off. If the second values is greater than equal to 30, then the minutes value will be increasing by 1, and then you get your longitude of the planets. That is, you have got it nearer to degrees and minutes only. For example, Venus, here it is 07 degree 52 minutes 48 seconds. This is the longitude of Venus which we have calculated using the ratio method. Venus is placed in the sign of Virgo. In the logarithm method, Venus's longitude is 7 degree and 53 minutes. Now you will find, sir, it is it is Aniket, it is differing by 1 minute, because in the ratio method it is 7 degree 52 minutes. In the logarithm method it is 7 degree 53 minutes. So no, in the ratio method it is 7 degree 52 minutes and 48 seconds. I have said, if you want to convert this value to minutes, it will be 7 degree 53 minutes, because the second value is greater than equal to 30. So exactly the value will be the same. So it is 7 degree 53 minutes in the sign of Virgo. It is 7 degree 53 minutes in the sign of Virgo. So whether you use the logarithm method, whether you use the ratio method, if your calculations are correct, you will arrive at the same result. Now, which particular method you will prefer for doing your manual calculations whenever you will be charting the horoscope, it is completely up to you and your preference. Whatever method you will find easy, you do that, or you follow that. Okay. So this was our learning of today's class, and I have successfully in detail taught you on how you can calculate the planetary positions and the planetary longitudes using the logarithm method. All right. So congratulations for learning this too. Very beautiful. Okay. Now one thing I need to show to you, one example I have to show to you, because I told you at the beginning of last class, that was class 70, that I will also teach you and I will also show you in the form of a teaching that what to do, how, like if it is a foreign birth, and that time what we need to do whenever we are doing the planetary positions and the longitude calculations. Because initially in class 17, class 71, we had done the calculations for an IST birth, right? Delhi birth. The time of birth was 11:25. So the calculations was very simple. Now here, this is my own personal work, right? I was, practicing with one example. This is again my notes. Now, for example, here I have taken is the place of birth is Rio de Janeiro, Brazil. All right. So this is a ZST birth. All right. So the time of birth is 7:30 p.m. ZST. Now what to do? Now I have the time of birth as 7:30 p.m. ZST. The date of birth is 17th of June 1985, and the place of birth is Rio de Janeiro, Brazil. Okay. Now let's come to the calculation. So here what we need to do is understand the steps very clearly. Whatever I have written, understand that, because the same concept you need to also apply if you are dealing with ZST births and if you are calculating all of these things manually. That is the planetary positions and the longitudes. So the first thing that we need to write is the ZST of birth. That is our 1930. It was 7:30 p.m. ZST. It means 1930. The next step will be IST from the ZST value. For Rio de Janeiro, Brazil, the IST from ZST value is plus 8 hours 30 minutes. This value again you will be able to find out from table of ascendants. How you will be able to find out? I have already discussed that in class 69. Or I have even shown, I think, in class 68 too. All right. So that particular, session is already completed. I've already discussed that particular detail. So now your IST from ZST is plus 8 hours 30 minutes. Now you are adding this IST from ZST value to the ZST of birth value, and you are arriving at 28 hours and 00 minute. 19 hours 30 minutes plus 8 hours 30 minutes, it gives you 28 hours 00 minute. It means if I do not want to consider 24-hour format, if I want to just bring it to a normal 12-hour format, I'm just subtracting 24 hours from this value. It is basically 4 hours. It means 4 in the morning. So the IST of, so if a particular person is born, it means, what it means is, what we have found out from this calculation, it means if the person is born in Rio de Janeiro, Brazil, on 17th, right? Our date of birth was 17, on 17th of June 1985 at 7:30 p.m. ZST. It means in IST it was 4 o'clock in the morning, but on 18th, because it has moved one day after. So if I want to convert that ZST time into IST time, it means the person was born. If I want to again bring the Indian Standard Time into picture, it was like the person was born on 18th of June 1985 at 4 o'clock in the morning, or 4 hours. Okay, this is what we have successfully calculated from this particular step. Okay, now we need to find out our ratio calculation, because I have solved this particular thing using the ratio method. This is my working. Okay, so this is my working. So I have solved using the ratio method. So I'll teach you, I'll discuss with you the ratio method calculations for this. You can even do like the logarithm method too, but if one particular process is clear, you can similarly apply the same thing in the different method. So for ratio method, as it is 4 hours 00 minute, it is, now understand these things. You have to keep all of these things in your mind. As this particular time, the IST time it is less than 5 hour 30 minute. We have to add 24 hours to it. Okay. You are adding 24 hours to this particular time, because it is less than 5 hour 30 minutes. So whenever it will be less than 5 hour 30 minutes, that is the ephemeris time, you have to, that is your time of birth. If it is less than 5 hour 30 minutes ephemeris time, you need to add 24 hours to it. And when you are adding 24 hours, you are going one day before. I've already discussed this particular concept in class 68. Okay, when we were calculating the ascendant rising, I've already discussed this detail. So when you are adding 24 hours, it becomes 28 hours. Now you are subtracting the ephemeris time of 5 hour 30 minutes. That is our usual mathematical calculation step that we are following for ratio calculation in order to get our numerator value. So we get here 22 hours 30 minutes. So 28 hours 00 minute minus 5 hour 30 minutes, it gives us 22 hour 30 minutes. This is our numerator value, and the denominator value will be definitely 24 hours. So if you divide this, convert this into simply hours, 22 plus 30 by 60 divided by 24, and you will get this particular decimal value. So this is the ratio value that you are getting. Alright, so now what will be the two datums, or what will be our first row and the second row? The principle which I had discussed in the last class, class 70. If your time of birth, that is in IST, is less than 5:30, then we are taking, what is the value that we are taking? We are taking 1 day before. And if the value is more than 5:30, we are taking 1 day after. Okay, so that particular thing will be clear to you. Okay, but if you want to go in a different way, if you want to follow a different approach, simple thing you need to keep in mind is, see how I'm able to figure this out. What will be my top date? And here, like here I've written, eventually let's not look at it right now, so because then the answer will be revealed. What will be the date in the first row, and what will be the date in the second row? That is when we are calculating using the ratio method. What is our date of birth? Our date of birth is 17th June 1985. All right, but understand this, when you are arriving at the IST, it becomes 18th of June, correct? 18th of June at 4 o'clock. Now we have to look at this particular date, not that date, when we are figuring it out, what will be the dates for the first row and the second row, because it is the IST that we have to consider. The entire ephemeris, all of these values are in IST. All of these values that you see in the tables are all at 5:30 a.m. IST. Okay, so IST times is what we need to consider, and the IST, the corresponding IST dates is what we are considering. Now, as the time of birth here, 4 hours is less than 5 hour 30 minute, it means we are taking 1 day before. So it means it becomes 17th of June 1985. So our two datums becomes 18th of June 1985. That is our basically our day of birth when it comes to the India, when we are calculating, or when we are converting the entire thing into IST. And the next datum becomes 17th of June, because this is less than 5:30 a.m. This particular principle I have already discussed in class 70. Okay. Now the higher of the two dates you have to write in step for row 1, and the lower of the two dates you have to write in step 2. It means in our step 1 we are writing the value of as 18th of June, because this is our higher date, and the step 2 we are writing it as 17th June 1985. That becomes our lower date. That is, out of the two dates, the higher one will always be the value for the first row. This is our first row, whatever we have, I've already discussed this, and the lower date is the value for the second row. Alright, so this is how we are solving for ZST birth. So I hope I am sure actually that I was able to completely explain and convey my thought process on how you will be able to calculate if you have a ZST birth in front of you, and what are the steps you need to follow in order to find out what will be the two datums, that is what will be the dates that you need to write in first row, what will be the date that you need to write in the second row, and how you will be able to calculate the ratio, basically the ratio or the numerator value, if you are going for only the logarithm method or the entire numerator. The numerator is the main thing, because the denominator will always be 24 hours. The numerator value is the value that you have to successfully calculate, correctly calculate. In this situation, the numerator value becomes 22 hours 30 minutes. So all of these calculations, all of these steps should be now very clear to you. I have explained now in detail, step by step. So now I have completed this particular topic also, that is how you can calculate the planetary positions and the planetary longitudes, that is for a particular birth detail, whether that birth is in India or whether that birth takes place in a foreign city and a foreign country where the ZST is considered, how you will be able to calculate and take into considerations all of these factors and calculate accurately using either the method of ratio or using the method of logarithm. So this particular class is also complete. Your class 71 is also complete. Okay. Now my plan is going forward, I have some things in my mind. I also want to teach you all like whenever the time will permit, whenever I will have the time, I want to make classes also to teach you all how you can manually calculate the dashas, that Vimshotri dasha. There is also Yogini dasha, but Yogini dasha, you need to first of all understand the principle, like how you can, use that concept of Yogini dasha in order for your horoscope analysis. But Yogini dashas are also very, very important. But again, at least like at your stage, be at least very good with the Vimshotri, because if you are good with the Vimshotri dasha and you're good with the transits concept also, you will be able to understand and predict a lot of things accurately. Dashas are extremely important, at least in the Pratyantar dasha. Mahadasha, Antardasha, Pratyantar dasha. These three dashas you have to be very much, you have to take the values of these three dashas into consideration whenever you are doing horoscope analysis. And if you want to go to the finer details, you should also look at the Sukshma dasha and the Pran dasha. Okay. So the Vimshotri dasha, how you can calculate manually the dashas based on an individual's birth detail. How you will be able to do it, I'm planning to create a class to teach you that. That is one. I am planning a class to also teach you, that is how you can manually create divisional charts, whether it is a D9 chart, whether it is a D3 chart, a D7 chart, a D10 chart, D2 chart, Hora chart also. So that's my plan. Like I want to create classes for all of these things so that whoever is inquisitive, whoever is eager to learn astrology, they will be able to learn everything very properly from all of these classes, all of these videos which are available in my YouTube channel. Okay. So that's my plan, but now I have to make time, because it takes a lot of time, to create all of these videos. And I make videos in detail. I do not make short videos where I'm telling you only the 5%, 10% of it. I teach each and everything in detail, so that if you watch my video on a particular topic, that topic's concept will be clear, absolutely clear to you. Then it depends on your efforts, how much efforts you are putting in order to revise those things, in order to practice all of these things at your end too. Then only you will be proficient. Okay, just by watching my videos one time, it will not help. You have to keep on watching my videos. I'm sure watching it only for one time, you will not be able to get all of these things straight away. You have to watch my videos again and again, and you have to sit with a pen and a paper. All of these videos are very practical, starting from class 1. And today's class was class 71. All of these videos are practical in nature, because I'm teaching everything in a practical way. I'm telling each and everything using horoscopes. So you have to sit with a pen and a paper, and you have to practice all of these things along with me. And then you have to do your homework also before you proceed to the next class. And I will always tell you, start from class 1 and then you proceed accordingly, because you need to gain confidence. And if you follow the process starting from class 1, when the class 1 is clear, go to class 2, then class 3, class 4. If you go in that particular way, you will be doing a wonderful job in becoming a very good astrologer, Hindu Vedic astrologer. And I will try to create more classes as possible, because I need to, I need to come up, I need to manage the time to create classes. And yeah, I also want to create more videos on predictive too. I also want to create videos on how you can, manually calculate some certain panchang details. You can calculate panchang, you can calculate, a lot of things. You can calculate var manually, you can calculate the tithi manually. All of these things you can calculate manually. So you do not have to be reliant on any online astrological software which can give faulty results. If you have faulty results in front of you, your entire analysis might go for a toss. So you have to do things manually. Manually means you have to do it, you have to do the calculations on your own. Then only you will become a proficient astrologer, right? Why you are, there's no need to be reliant on data with some, which is with some online free astrological softwares are generating for you. Okay, so that is why being very good with all of these concepts, mathematical astrology, because these are this, using mathematical astrology only you will be able to calculate all of these things. At least all of the charts and everything, all the data will be accurately there in front of you. Then you need to use your predictive knowledge in order to analyze the predictive part of the horoscope, the entire thing. All right, so I think I'll not further lengthen today's class. Thank you so much, and I'll try to create more classes. Right, I've already discussed the topics which is there or which are there in my mind, and I want to create classes for all of those topics. Now let me plan out how can I create those classes, and my objective is to keep on creating classes and keep on sharing my knowledge with all of you. But then please subscribe my YouTube channel and pass on this information, share these videos with all of you. There will be a lot of curious, people who wants to learn astrology, and you are getting all of these things, free resources, and all of these things are very accurate. I am putting that effort, I am putting that energy and that enthusiasm into teaching all of these things in detail. So you have to utilize this platform, you have to utilize my channel, and you need to share this information, all of these videos to your network. Who knows, there might be someone who is looking for a particular place to learn astrology, and what's better that you are getting all of these things right now in my YouTube channel, right? Subscribe to my channel, subscribe my channel, and I will feel so good about that. Thank you so much, and I'll see you in the next class. Bye, take care.